I'm responding back to a really good friend of mine, Stay from South Africa. And basically, he was telling me in the comments, he was basically saying, it's crazy, like some of the day to day stuff that he was doing back in 2014. He just didn't press play and document it, but how things are changing. And the observation that he made just really sparked in me kind of this journey that I've been on as far as just documenting my day. Like, I'm not doing anything different than what I was doing 5 years, 10 years. Like, I'm pretty much doing the same thing. The only thing different is just I'm documenting it. It's not anything new. But for me, it has been, and this is what I commented back to him, it has been transformative to me on so many levels. And I think at some point I'm going to do a separate video on like what those things are, like how transformative. I think this is episode almost going on 60 something, but anyway, it's just been so transformative. And the other piece of it is, like I was mentioning in last episode, is that the younger generation, they take to seeing someone on YouTube, and it doesn't even matter how many subscribers that they have, views that they have, just the fact that you put yourself out there, their ears perk up. And I've noticed, and that's been, if you've been following along, that's been a part of my practice and a part of this whole experiment, is just answering the question and getting inside of the question of why young people have chosen a career path of YouTube over being a doctor or a lawyer. And I wanted to get inside of that question. Someone that has worked with college students. I was a director of entrepreneurship at a community college for 4 years. So I've heard this over and over again. And that's what makes this practice so much more special, is that I'm going inside of that question almost as an investigative journalist, and really like seeing the response that I'm getting specifically from Gen Z when talking about this channel. It just makes a difference. And what's starting to formulate is this, I'm not going to call it a theory yet, it's just formulating, is that if you are a leader in any capacity, especially if you're leading the youth, this is going to be a key tool that you're going to need. And it might not be YouTube, but it may be something. But I can say this, the more transparent you are, the more response you're going to get. And after, if you watch the episode when I was at the mall and I met that group of young kids that were on the soccer team, I walked away thinking, like, I don't know how if you're a teacher and if you don't have some type of vlog or social media presence, how that teacher is competing with so many other voices that they have going on. And I even see it with my daughter. When she's watching her YouTube shows and my face pops up. She's like, "Daddy, here you go." It's like I'm there. Whatever content she's watching, I'm there right next to it. So from a parenting perspective, this is a whole nother video too. I'm just spitballing right now with you if you're listening. From a parenting perspective, your child is either going to be fighting this algorithm. It's you're not going to win against this algorithm. You're just not. You're not going to win. It's just too powerful. So the thing is that what we're teaching is you're either going to be a producer of content or a consumer of content. Those are the only two choices. So as a parent, I'm leading by example, and I'm showing my daughter, okay, this is how you become a producer of content. And she's in the content. So as she gets older, she's going to have a balance, like, I can make my own videos. And I'm going to have my own purpose to my videos. And if you look at the episode, Getting Advice from a 5-year-old, she talks about that. And we talk about that in our conversation. So it's just been transformative on so many levels that I just have to sit down at some point and write them all down and then come back to the channel and communicate these different things, from a business perspective, from a personal perspective, from a parenting perspective. It's just been transformative. And my buddy Stay like sparked that in me with his comment here. So it's really important. The point I'm trying to make is comment. I'm reading, I'm responding. It gives me energy when I see your comments because I know there's so many other people that are doing stuff, and the fact that you stop, take your time to either comment and want to dialogue, it means the world to me. All right, yeah, I'm here at the coffee shop, Gems and Joe's here. Let's see, my coffee here. And yeah, so what I'm working on today is I'm spending some time. This is something I wanted to do, really save for the weekend, is really looking at my vlog, which is self-titled Tremayne, but it means Transform Reality Master You Now. It's an acronym. I actually have my daughter made this bracelet. It's probably backwards, but anyway, it's an acronym that I've used to, really catapult me at a dark time. I knew that in order for me to get out of it, I had to just master what was in front of me right now. So every time you're pressing play, you're triggering that into your mind. Like, the only way to master, to transform, to change your situation, you have to focus on what's in front of you right now. But anyway, what I'm working on today is looking at my vlog as a machine. And what I mean by that is the grouping of systems within that machine. And the way I'm thinking about it is, for every 100 episodes that I do, I'm gonna add a new system or a new thing to the machine. So there's about 9 layers, if you will, 9 layers of this system that I'm building out. But I'm just gonna spend some time now just to document it. So that it's step by step, it's more systemized. So I'm working on the system from 0 to 100 episodes. So right now I'm on episode, where am I at? I am on episode, bear with me here, I'm on episode 56. So I'm halfway through building out the systems from 0 to 100. Because each phase, I'm learning new things and I'm implementing it. I'm getting feedback from you all. When you make a comment, that gives me so much feedback because it lets me see what's resonating. That's why I always ask, when I started this office hours, that was a part of the system, a system change, because I decided to operate this above or outside of the algorithm. Or I should say, not just to operate outside of it, to optimize outside of the algorithm. The algorithm does play its role in what I want to do because it is going to draw people to me and to the channel and to what we're doing. But ultimately, the biggest change, or one of the best changes, when that light bulb went on, and I started the office hours, and now the strategy just kind of like catapulted. Because now I'm optimizing for meeting you one-on-one. Now I'm not gonna be able to do that forever because, like I said, my DMs, I have to vet a lot because I had someone call me out of nowhere, out of the blue, and it really had nothing clearly to do with what the ask was, and maybe that's on my fault. I need to be a lot more clear, and I'm working through the kinks here. But that changed everything. Everything changed after that. So I'm spending today, like I said, just hanging out here and just formalizing that plan, and eventually I'll share it with you. Like I said, this whole thing is transparent. Like I'm building this in front of you, right before your eyes, and no matter where you picked up on this journey, it's going to make sense. Maybe not now, but it's all going to make sense. First order of businesses that I need to do before building out the machine itself is getting the editing, getting the editing off of my plate. And if you followed along, you'll see that the process I wrote it down in my notebook, and then I put it in my Apple Notes, and I told you that I was going to really build a system. So this is how it's shaping up right now. as detailed as I could get, from the thumbnails to yeah. So yeah, so I'm getting as much detail as I can, so that when I should be able to be in a coffee shop, print this page out, and then hand it to anybody, and they would be able to do my system. That's how easy it has to be. Right now, it's not there yet, but it's going to get there. I'm probably gonna, after this, I'm probably gonna run it through my AI tool to really get even more detail on it. So this is what it's looking like. This is how it's shaping up. I want to, show you guys inside, from written in the notebook to doc to the actual thing. And the goal is to show you all the way to the end. When this is out of my hands completely, then I can begin to work on, as you see here, the machine. So I'm here at my office. I usually don't come to the office on the weekends, but it just so happened I was down at La Vida, the coffee shop, and got to talking, and people were just coming through. It was a good time. It was a really good time. But one of the things that, came out of the conversation, just thinking about vision. And let me ask you, what's your vision? Like, what is the vision that you have for your life? Because that's everything. If you don't have a vision for your life, you're going to be in someone else's vision. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you choose to do. I'm not knocking it at all, but one of the conversations we were having was a friend of our family's, and he's the executive director of a nonprofit here, was just casting his vision about what he's doing and bringing it to pass, and sharing what he was doing with his vision. And it's always inspiring to hear other people's vision, and not just for themselves, but like how they want to impact other people's lives. And it just fit in theme on like what I do on the weekends is use the time to kind of like just let my mind roll, just let my mind go, and not put all the routine, like taking the routine out of it, and just allowing myself just to vision and daydream, and just really ponder what it is that is being done. Because what happens is you get the information not by reading books, So the misnomer is you think that you're going to read a whole bunch of books or listen to a whole bunch of podcasts, and you're just going to get the information that you need to do what you need to do. But that's not the case. When you get real information is when you're in action, when you're moving. You'll get the information is going to emerge, and the key is like how are you capturing that information, and then how are you implementing and iterating against that information. So it was really good, to be around people that are visioning, and like it was just good. It was a breath of fresh air, and I'm about to leave here shortly. But I just wanted to share that with you, like just really, take the time to really think about that. If that's what you choose to do, like, because sometimes you have to follow someone else's vision before you kind of have your own vision. But I know for me, I don't want to go to the grave and not be able to see my vision come to life, see my vision come to fruition. Calling it a night. Like I always say, if there's anything that resonated in this video, check my description. I open up my calendar on Tuesdays and Wednesdays for 15 minutes. Would love to get to hear more about, man, that motorcycle was loud. I'd like to get to hear more about you. With that said, I'm out. Peace.